pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, Dustin?
Yep.
Annette?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Nikki?
Yes.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Open forum.
We get yelled at if we skip it.
Okay.
Okay. Monthly reports, Public Works.
So our water report's done, as well as the wastewater. For water, we're starting our bacteria and fluoride samples tomorrow. We're starting to flush hydrants the week of the 21st. And then that sinkhole on Eagle Street, we found out it was just a small water leak. We got that dug up and fixed. We did our first round of E. coli this month. We just did that one. We got the rest coming up. And we have the parts ordered to repair the broken water lines out of the sewer plant. And other than that, the plant's running all good. For the streets, the sweeper has been out. We got the new broom on that one, so it's ready to go for the rest of the year. We got all of our snow fence down, the sander put away, and we're starting the maintenance on the mowers. We just got all the stuff pulled out and ready to go. And then we ordered the paint for the parking lines uptown. And we got one bid on the street so far for potholes from our pothole guy that we normally go with. And then we have a list of our storm drains that we have to get cleaned and cameraed for MVP. And then these are the bids for the mower. The only difference really is horsepower. One has slightly more than the one we have now, one has slightly less. Other than that, they're pretty much all the same as the one we got already, so. That's all.
There's a board off the library backside that needs replaced.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, so we can do that. Chad said it would be, we could do that, it's just, you're gonna see the nails, because the way the siding works, it goes from the bottom up. But otherwise, we can do that, and then there is a vent cover on the roof that we just noticed the other day that needs replaced. Especially since I don't know what that goes to, we don't wanna flood anything over there, so. Other than that.
I love that you said uptown.
Downtown.
No, it's just uptown.
Okay.
It's so little, no one says that anymore.
Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Have you talked to the patcher or the seal coat people yet?
Not that I know of, I don't think so yet.
Okay.
I think it's just been the pothole guy that
Yeah.
that's
Do you
come
know
by,
a lot
so.
about mowers? So is there a big difference between having your deck thing up here and then not having your deck thing up there?
I don't think that one's,
Okay,
Or is that just
well,
not
thank
picture
you.
the deck thing
that
up there?
one's just not showing it.
Okay, so it still has
Thanks,
the deck
Marcus.
thing
Yeah,
up
it
here?
would be in the front, yep.
It
yep.
just has
Library
bigger
board.
tires.
Right.
We're aware of the siding on the back. Tammy had reached
Okay.
out to her
That's
husband,
got
one of
more
our board
horsepower,
members,
it's a
so I know
bigger
she
one.
has
Okay.
been in the process of getting that fixed. The
I was
bed,
just
we
looking
didn't
at
know
pictures,
about.
'cause I
so
know nothing
just
about
wanted to let
Yep.
you know, because we weren't aware of the bed. We had our biggest checkout this past month. We had over 620 checkouts, which I think is the most we've probably ever had, at least since I was on the board. And then we got the Grove Green County grant for new people coming to the library, so.
Nice. For what? New tables and chairs.
Great. We also did a program up there with growing plants. Mom did that. So they will be transferred over to the wheel thing, the cement thing where we grow the tree, don't grow the tree, but we plant the tree for the Christmas tree. The kids then will take those over and we grow them there first. We plant them over there for the summers, so it looks better than just empty.
Okay, community center.
As far as activities, pretty status quo. We did have a fundraiser March 29th, went over really well. We had a nice bingo crowd, a nice supper crowd, dodgeball, lots of kids. A lot of kids I've never seen before, so that was good. New faces. We did have, of course, a higher number of cancellations in March because of the weather, but that's kind of out of our hands. But we did have a nice list of volunteers to help with the fundraiser, and I'm pretty sure I spelled Jenny Gustav's name wrong, but I'm not sure exactly how she spells her first name. So I apologize for that. We have some rentals coming up, getting, graduation time, so we'll pick up with that. We have a wedding coming up here as well. Other things, so one of the volleyball pull sleeves that's in the floor is loose. We do have a guy coming Tuesday the 15th, going to repair that. I'm not sure what's wrong with it because I'm not doing a belly crawl under the floor over there to find out. So, because to get under the floor, it's a crawl space. And there's a dirt floor under our gym floor, in case you didn't know. So you have to, yeah. I'm sure when Neil put that in, he was, and his crew was thrilled. Anyway, so, but we are getting that fixed. And the pickleball people would like to pay for an actual pickleball net, so we're using the volleyball net. But the problem is with the volleyball net, the holes are bigger in the volleyball net, so when they're playing, sometimes the ball goes through the holes. And I do have a quote coming on that for them to purchase. We did get 2 really nice standing podiums from Hastings Funeral Home when they were cleaning out the funeral home. Like one has the light on it and a microphone holder on it. The other one we can use, like for a guest book or something, for different events if needed. So those were nice. They just let us have them. They're donated, but they're in really good shape. We have been talking with Mrs. Scott at the high school in the art class about doing some murals. So on the gym entrance, if you notice, there's 3 windows that are tinned up. Got tin on the outside where the windows used to be. So she's come up with some sketches for those to put murals in there. So you don't just see the tin, there'll be murals. They're really cute. It's since this was a former school, it's like kids, and you can see them kind of goofing around the classroom or like looking out the windows and stuff. So it's really kind of cute. So that will kind of gives us some curb appeal. We just got to pay for their materials to get that done. We're gonna have a yard cleanup day this Saturday. We're gonna get rake the rocks out of the yard and clean up the driveways, sticks, flower beds, pick up sticks. The fundraiser did bring in about $1,200 after our expenses. We did do a door key upgrade. Now when we imported all the keys into the upgraded system, it has a date, so of the importing of the key, the keys that were already issued out there. So I did call the insurance, Stu Krutzinger, because I wanted to know So like, since these keys were issued prior to the upgrade, so according to the key agreement, the key was issued maybe in 2020 or some other date. But the system now, when we imported them, has a different date, and he suggested we upgrade all of our key, or update all of our key agreements to match the system, just because if there was ever an incident with a key holder, things kind of jive together, because you know, insurance wants to find a way to have a loophole to not pay if there would be an incident of some sort. So I'm working on all those, and getting those all back up to date. So I hope to have those done here in the next couple of weeks. We have a lot of things. So this is a project that we worked on, and then it just kind of got, for several reasons, just kind of got put on the wayside. And we've decided to get back to that project, and it's a batting pitching cage for the gym. And so we've kind of saved up for this project. We've saved up some of our Scranton Charities money to help fund this project, and we've applied for a grant with the Rotary. If that grant would happen to come through, we would have enough funds to finish this project. We purchased, Neil Squibb had a net for us, which we purchased, and then the framework that it would hang from, the guy we're working with, we can make that ourselves. So we do have a local guy with a welding shop that can make that for us, which will save us some money as well. So hopefully that gets in. That will just be a lot of extra revenue for us, because you can also do golfing in that as well. We received a $34,000 community foundation grant for second floor renovations, and the Alumni Association has close to $20,000. I'll stick in with that. Once the alumni reunion's over, we will start with demolition to get that project rolling, and then the contractor will come in approximately September, October to do the renovations. We're gonna do some work to the stairway. The flooring's bad. I mean, it's just literally been untouched up there, and it's just due because it would have been early 90s when it would have been renovated, so it's due. And we received a $68,500 grant from Go Green for the roof. And with the city's contribution and the alumni's contribution, that project is fully funded now. And so we called the roof people because we wanted to get on their list, because we know with school getting out, once you get busy with school buildings, it might take a while to get them here. So they actually are going to come in April, but we told them this needs to come out of the next fiscal year. They said not a problem. They just would like to get this out of the way before school lets out and they get on to some bigger projects. So they're willing to work with us. We did bid that out to get more than one bid on the roof. So we had a bid spec, and the one bid that we received back didn't use the type of roof on the bid spec that we wanted. Their bid was cheaper, but it was also a cheaper type of material to put on the roof with not as long of life expectancy. But we were specific on what we asked for, and we thought, well, you know, if they won't bid exactly what we want, what else will they not do for us when it comes time? So we will go with Central States Roofing, who did the other roof. So all the flat roof will be done by one company. We are still kind of working on a board replacement. We've reached out. They were gone for a while and didn't really have time to talk with their family and get back to us before the meeting. So
Anyway, lots going on. I think that's everything. So, yeah, sorry. Any questions about any of the other projects that we're working on? So, we just kind of a deadline on some of this other stuff to finish up, with the alumni banquet coming up, or reunion. It's just kind of a good goal for us to finish up some things, so. Kind of like your home at graduation. You always paint the living room and.
Thank you, Don. Okay, parks. Okay. Recycling. We got a paperwork from Jefferson. I got a hold of that again today. I think he would like to see it separated instead of garbage. It's just plastic, paper, cardboard, tin. That's it. Don't put it in the garbage can. It's got to be like our green containers, and they won't throw it away. So, other than that,
And then will they bring in more of those containers for us to put it like down there? Or are they just gonna do pickup like at the houses?
if we put a container down there through Jefferson, it'll be around $10,000 a year. But
In addition to what they're wanting to?
or, well, that'd be Jefferson. We'd be contracting with Jefferson.
Okay,
The Jefferson, they have the automated truck that goes around, picks up their recycling by automation. They don't go around like they used to, grab the containers and toss it in here and there. This is what,
So I want to ask, is this a different company than we're using now then?
this the one company, the same company, if you stay,
Okay.
you don't take it down.
Because he doesn't do recycling now. You put recycling out now and he puts it into the garbage truck.
But is it in the garbage can or is it
It's in a
separated?
recycling bin.
Okay. I've
So
talked,
if he's doing that now, why are we going to bother with a new recycling plan? It's a waste of money.
well, there's
Going
other,
with Jefferson, it'd be whole different.
Well, that's what I asked. Are we using the same garbage people for this as we are
no,
currently?
we stay with our own garbage company. If we switch garbage companies,
That's not what she's asking, the recycling part of it.
It's
Are
the
we still gonna
recycling.
use our garbage people for the recycling, or are we gonna use the Jefferson for recycling, is what she's asking.
if we
Correct.
use,
Yes.
we'll use Mills, keep an eye on him. And then Jefferson, like they said, it'd be $10,000. You'll have to run it down yourself. They won't come and get it for you.
Right. Because what it sounded like you were saying is they're gonna start coming to our house and picking up recycling.
If
But
you,
at the moment, when you put recycling out, you can stand there in the morning, and I know because I'm up when they're coming down the street, and he picks that bin up and dumps it in the dumpster, so why did I bother setting out recycling?
And that, I've done that too, so I take it uptown. So the one uptown is gonna go away, or we can continue to do
The one
that?
uptown is for out of town,
towners, we're not supposed to use
Oh,
it.
goodness gracious.
so we
Yeah.
would bring a new one in from Jefferson.
Would they,
But that's the $10,000.
Yeah.
that's if we went with Jefferson,
Right.
Yeah,
right?
So are they gonna give us bins to put it in?
Or you could talk to the supervisors and see.
everybody's got those bins, they should still
I
have
don't
them.
have a
I'm
bin.
sorry,
I
let me
don't
see
have
what
them.
it
I
is.
don't own
Or
any
you
three of
can
my
maybe
houses.
I
talk
haven't
to the
had a bin
supervisors
since I moved into my house.
pay
You
for
should, everybody had one unless somebody stole it.
I've lived
and
in
let
my
the city
house
people
for
use it? That sounds like a good idea.
17 years and I haven't had a bin.
So,
I've got 3 houses and I don't have a bin.
Dawn just said, well, we can talk to the county supervisor and see if we can pay for a portion of the bin we already have.
okay.
I'm just being honest.
I
I
know.
don't understand why I'm gonna pay for recycling
You're not the only
Yeah.
one that's,
if he's not.
Gonna
Doing
separate
it.
it, yeah.
Do we pay the garbage man for recycling right now?
yes,
Do you know how much we pay the garbage?
$375 a month.
But if you still have a recycling option, residents will still have to pay something.
But if you decide,
It's not.
if we decide to switch
Your
companies,
brain works
I thought
faster
all this
than
was
I
supposed
do.
to been figured out by the time we came to the town council meeting tonight, that we would know exactly how much, like for Dawn, for the county, what we would have to pay the county if we used theirs, instead of getting a new one or here. Or, if he was going to cut the recycle amount out and not get paid for it, Mills, and then we start either with Jefferson or, again, go with, Dawn. I thought that was all gonna be discussed
I
and
emailed
figured out.
Mills Wednesday after our last meeting, and I've emailed them 3 times since then, and I haven't heard a word from them. Asking for a new contract, putting our concerns in about the recycling, paying for it and not having those services appropriately, and I haven't heard nothing from them.
And we're the boss of him, he's not the boss of us.
Oh, I
So
understand,
he should be getting back to us about it.
100%,
And I'm not trying to be rude, I just find it
yes, annoying.
very much. I looked at my husband, it's been a couple months ago, and I said, why am I bothering? I'm done.
Mhm.
So I quit doing my recycling. I mean, let's face it, it's a lot of work to make sure you're rinsing and
Sure.
pulling labels and all of the stuff that recycling entails. I mean, it's for a good cause, but it's a lot of work, and why am I doing it if I'm gonna stand in my door looking out, watching him dump it into
Correct.
the dumps with the rest of the trash? So if that's what we're gonna be doing, then why are we going to go to all this work?
I will,
Why are we paying for it?
I will get in here.
Right, so we also do have the agreement with Jefferson
We-
to do the recycling for us. We have that amount, what we would have to pay for it. It's just whether we want to pay for that or continue with Mills.
Everybody would pay for it, it's not just one.
Right, right, that's what I'm saying, whether we
So how much
as a
How much is
collective,
it per family then?
Is it $3?
So,
what do we pay now?
I can't remember what's on
I
there.
think it's like $3.
I think it's $3.
It would at least double, because it's over 10,000 for this, and we pay him $4,500.
$375 a month is what we pay him.
Say it again.
$375
Yes,
a
ma'am.
month is what we pay him.
I will get Matt Mills here for the next meeting.
No shit.
But you gotta remember, that guy starts bright and early in the morning, and he needs to sleep. He's not, but I'll get him here.
I'm up at 4:30 in the morning, I need sleep.
He's
too.
up by 11. He had 2 towns done last weekend before he got here for ours cleanup.
Well, that's not our problem.
No.
Because we're the boss of him, not him the boss of us. And we've been paying all this time for recycle, and we're not getting what we bought.
But some people don't recycle, and they get charged.
That's not,
That's not the
still get
point.
charged.
that's not
That's
the
a
point.
personal choice.
That's not really the point. The point is if we're paying for a service that he is getting paid for, and he's not providing the service, then there's an issue.
Well, like I said, I'll get in here next council meeting, and we'll have a sit down with him.
Is he gonna start pulling that green thing then behind the garbage truck?
We'll talk to him then.
Okay.
So, spring cleanup,
Well, do we need to send him a certified letter to attend the?
We could do that.
do that, no problem.
What were you about to say about cleanup?
Well, we had spring cleanup. There was me and Matt and his one helper to help clean up. We had a full load, and one guy came late, and he got mad. Then another guy, he got a little upset, but he did real good about it. But
I know we didn't come, like I already said, I get up at 4:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday. Saturday, I'm not getting up that early to bring it.
But the landfill's only open so long on Saturdays. You gotta get there so early, or you don't get dumped. So,
What time does the landfill open up, Jerry?
I think 8 o'clock, and they shut down by 11. By the time you get everything loaded up here, hauled all the way over there, it's putting a squeeze.
I'm curious as to why our town does not do what the other towns does and have curbside pickup for our citywide cleanup.
We'll stop and pick it up. We have to know about it.
I was curious.
We've always offered to help with that, always have.
We've had ours picked up before.
Yeah.
I just called in,
I didn't see it.
said I can't pick it up.
Well, hi.
Can you have somebody stop by and pick it up?
But you gotta
So
remember,
it was there, you just had to call.
Yeah.
I was unaware of that, so.
We did it a couple of years ago where we didn't do the,
Yeah, in
During COVID.
2020, because that's the year we moved
yeah,
in.
that's it.
I think a lot more people got rid of stuff.
The yards were a lot cleaner after that.
Yeah.
And I help volunteer that day, and if you'd like to see, I still have it, the trailer we had full of mattresses, and I will say, by the time we got to the landfill, and there was a lineup, like, we almost weren't able to get unloaded that day, and damned if I was bringing all our mattresses back. But
There's about 100 that
so
day.
yeah, so getting over there in time and getting unloaded, they want you unloaded by 11, you know, like.
Well, I know that that's why some towns started doing where they're picking up part of it on Friday instead of waiting until.
Yeah.
I'm not
think a lot
originally
more
from
people
here,
were
I'm
doing
from
it
this
wasn't
one
so
area,
early in
so
the
I know
morning.
that that's how come they started doing it that way.
And
But
we could use.
one day does just,
Because I was loading a lot of mattresses by myself, while residents watched me load them.
And see,
And
which is wrong.
it is, and there was
Let's move on,
freezers
Jerry.
turned out with, I don't know, everything got body or something stuck, so that's terrible. It was awful. So, yeah, we need more volunteers if we're gonna do that.
yeah, 'cause it's,
Which if it was happening and I and my husband knew, we would have helped. But that year was the year we moved to town. If we'd have known that volunteers were needed, we'd have came and helped because we liked the fact that we were watching the town clean up.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff hauled that year.
we had three dumpsters.
Yeah, there was.
A lot of change in yards from when we looked at our house to when we finished that.
I still wish we could set
Okay.
something out on Friday night. If we could put,
Okay,
bin out on Friday night for the people that do work
Okay.
during the week, that they, you know,
okay.
can go ahead and put it in there on Friday night.
We'll get hold of him and bring him in, and we're gonna keep moving on down.
All right, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, set a public hearing to amend FY 25 budget on May 13th meeting.
I just need approval.
Need approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Gail,
Yes.
Dustin,
Yep.
Nikki,
Yes.
Annette,
Yes.
Ashley. Okay. NHLM comprehensive solid waste plan approval. Everybody has to do it, every town and county, so. Okay,
That's what we looked at last meeting?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve it?
Need a second?
I'll second.
Nikki seconded, okay. Nikki,
Yes.
Gail,
Yes.
Ashley, Annette,
Yes.
Dustin.
Yep.
Okay, Alumni Association closing street for June celebration.
So we would like to, on the west side of the gym, not really close the street, but reserve it for, have a side that could be just for handicap parking. A lot of the older classes, because registration will be, at the south end of the gym, so then therefore, it wouldn't be so far for those people to walk, to come in and get registered.
Do you want barricades?
Yeah, and
We
Chad,
always-
we did this last time, and Chad was really good at
Okay.
supplying those.
Chad
So
knows about it.
the street will still, it won't be closed off, I mean, you'll still be able to drive through. We would just like to be able to put barricades up with a sign of some sort that
Handicap parking.
designates that for handicap parking. That, that would be in the letter too. And then also, I did ask, Stu about if, the Alumni Association should have, a special liability policy for the event. For that, event, the fire department will be having the beer garden.
They have to have one, don't they?
And
Yes.
so,
Yes.
anyway, he just said it's not completely necessary, but if the city requires you to have a special liability policy for that event, then that's fine. It's whatever you guys want us to do. If you want us to have a special liability policy, we need to be just getting that in place.
Have you had to have it before?
Otherwise,
For the beer
we
tent?
would, otherwise you fall
Yeah,
under
but-
the city's liability policy.
But not for the beer tent, just for their having it. They've never had
Just
to
for
have
the
that
event.
before, have
The,
they?
the fire department pays for their own
Right, I'm
insurance.
not asking about the beer tent.
Yeah, this is just.
Just
for-
That's what I'm
asking-
saying, that's the only thing I know about, that needs to be covered.
I think-
So, otherwise we fall under the city's liability, but I wanna make sure we're all on the same page and that, like, if you want us to get a different liability policy specifically for that, we will, otherwise it does fall on the city's liability, so, just wanna, whatever your wishes are, we are good with, we wanna just have that communication.
I think we've always had it under our liability before. I don't know why we would make you
I
get another.
agree. I just for the,
And it's not just for alums, it's open to anybody
Yeah,
who
Right.
can come.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, second by Ashley. Annette?
Yeah.
Dustin?
Yeah.
Nikki?
Yeah.
Gail?
Yes.
Okay. Building permit. Jamie Tulin, he's building a garage, detached garage.
Have we had anybody on the buildings group, look at that? His mother's on it, I believe.
Yeah. By where he's putting it, it's not gonna be affect anything.
Well, that's not our decision, Jerry. That is not ours. That's the committee's decision.
I'm not ready.
They make the recommendation to us. I don't wanna be out having to measure out the depth of a hole.
Okay.
I don't know this, what he's saying.
That didn't sound very good, did it?
No, it didn't.
I'll have to get the committee together to get that approved,
What committee?
zoning.
I may not be home tonight.
Oh,
huh?
we're not rezoning.
We're not rezoning it. Gail?
What are you guys on?
It's just a garage, you don't have to it's not being
Rezoned.
rezoned.
It's not being rezoned.
It's detached.
It's just detached from the house, it's not,
It's gotta have a building permit.
he's
And
got
they
a
have
building
Yes,
permit
it's
right
a building
here.
This is the building.
But we
Here you go.
don't,
Chad does,
Chad does.
So
He's
Chad
the building
looks at
takes
it.
care of that.
yes.
and he's already looked at this,
Yes,
it's over,
and it's
okay,
over $5,000,
Yeah.
that's why
I
it
think
needs
you're thinking
approval.
of zoning.
okay.
Huh?
think Gail might be
I think you're
thinking
thinking
Yes,
of
yeah.
zoning. the zoning
Has
committee.
Chad looked this over?
Yes,
Yeah.
And he says it's okay?
that's why it's here.
Okay,
It has to
I don't-
come to us because it's over 5,000.
I agree.
Right.
That I agree, but I didn't know that Chad even looked at it.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a
That's why they're
zoning
here.
guy.
Okay,
Okay, now I need a vote on it.
when you're late, you
I need
miss
a
a
motion.
lot of things.
Need a motion, guys.
All motion.
Nat made the motion, seconded by
second.
Nikki. Ashley,
Yep.
Gail,
Yes.
Nikki,
I know her.
Dustin.
Yep.
Nat,
Yep.
okay. Okay, building permit for Dallas Warnicki.
I got him, I got him.
He's building an office space and a
Can I
greenhouse.
shut off the camera for a moment while
And
I,
he's using his heating system to be like an education center for his, and people to come look at his equipment.
So does that have to go through zoning, or
Shouldn't,
is it already?
No, 'cause it's
it's already zone
zoned?
commercial.
Well, it
Yeah.
says zoning on the bottom, so I didn't know.
That was a question that I had to look up, so
Okay.
that's on me.
All right.
Sorry, I answered my own question.
No.
That was my note.
Okay, so it's gonna be a greenhouse for educational purposes for his heating system.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah,
Yep,
That sounds kinda
Geothermal.
cool.
yep,
Digging a big old hole, and they'll put
yeah.
loops
coils,
in
loops in there, and fill them full of water, cover it up, and it will extract the 52.5 degree temperature out of it during the winter to cool the building, or to warm the building, and they'll pull the 52.5 degree out of it during the summer to cool it.
okay,
I'll make a motion.
okay, second,
That's great.
That's exciting, yes.
That is pretty amazing.
you buy vegetables.
Buy some vegetables.
Okay, second,
I'll second.
Up front to get started.
okay. Dustin,
Yep,
So this is only.
Nikki,
yeah.
Gail,
Yes.
Ashley.
Yep, yep.
Nat,
Yes.
okay,
Oh, Lord, is that it? Okay.
that's it. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
Second,
I'll second.
Oh,
Nicole.
yes, what? Sorry.
Nicole.
It's Nikki, but yes.
She hasn't been here in a while.
Got a name.
I was late last time. I was here the time before.
Okay.
Yes.
Dustin, Annette.
Yes.
Ashley,
Yep.
Gail.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you know when we're gonna be going over ordinances, ma'am?
Well, I thought we were gonna do that after this meeting, when everybody leaves.
Why I brought my laptop.
That way we can bring any questions you guys had and I can send them on.
Oh, fantastic.
Or,
I will get my books
hear me
here.
out,
Wait a
you
minute.
can send me all these questions. We're adjourned.
Yeah, remember the whole Nicole thing? That was adjourning.
How far you got?
Sorry.
Oh, no, I'm done.
No.
Get out.
Oh, I'm done.
That's why I said, or,
Let me tell you, I am done.
why don't you send me the questions or concerns? Cause it's not on the agenda.
Give me like 5
Yes.
Did I hear
Done.
you open it to anybody for questions?
At the
Oh, it was
beginning,
at the
open
beginning.
forum.
You missed it.
She wasn't here. I missed it.
Do you have a
I
question?
missed
Becky?
that for very first
I
thing.
hope so.
Okay,
So last week I texted Dawn because I want to have a summer camp here in Scranton.
okay,
And I have two
sounds-
women who have experience would love to run it.
all right.
I haven't looked up numbers yet, I haven't found out insurance yet, and I haven't found for any kind of, no.
Regulation.
License or any of that.
Okay,
Because I don't wanna do that if the city couldn't help me with, I don't wanna be responsible for money and payroll.
okay.
So my question is with the city, and you guys can think about this, but I gotta get it going really fast if we're gonna have it up, would be willing to do the payroll,
QuickBooks.
employ people, make the payroll.
Like pay for the employment of people?
No, because the income from the kids.
No, just
paying
do
for
the
camp,
business work of
The
it.
business part of it.
So you want Crystal?
No.
They'll pay people to to their paychecks weekly? How long is the city paying? Anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks.
Well, we won't do payroll, but.
That's exactly what I.
Quick
But
vote.
I
they
liked
have
it
to
better
be-
when you said
but they-
alumni would
Well,
do
I
it.
thought she was just
Right.
saying, like, for the
Just go to the
fees or
library and
whatever.
spend about half an
Right.
hour.
But
Oh, it'll take more than that.
for you, wouldn't they have to be an employee of the city then?
Yes.
Yeah,
Then you got workman's comp on top of that.
yeah.
There's quite a bit of stuff in there.
Then you'd have to have a background check,
And there's
Yeah,
stuff
you have to do a
full
physical, background check.
checks,
Yeah.
drug tests.
Especially for both kids, they'd have to have background checks.
proposed amendment.
Well, I could do and pass all that and put numbers in software, but I can barely manage my own schedule.
Okay.
Why did you look at me?
I knew I should.
I mean, I know how to do all of that.
We can't
so-
approve anything tonight, cause
No.
it's
No, it's just something to think about for
Something we need
next
to
meeting.
talk
Yeah.
about legalities.
If you had more details, maybe you could share them with Crystal
That
while
would
we
be
could get it in the
perfect. But
meeting.
what
then.
kind of more details? I'm not gonna do all the research for, you know, all the licensing
basically,
that I
wants
have
to
to
know
get. I need
review
to know if you guys will.
How
just
many
oversee
employees
it.
are you looking at?
Depends on how many kids you have. You have to have one adult for every how many kids?
6.
So if you're talking about 2 people to run it, probably 15-year-olds, 16, 17, 18-year-olds.
Output the footage? A camp for,
15,
If somebody wanted.
15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds?
what's a
You're gonna
camp
have
for?
a camp
Day
for,
camp for kids.
for high school kids?
No, no.
Oh.
High school kids to work it.
Oh, okay, I was thinking you
No, no, no. Camp would be from first grade
I was
to sixth grade.
thinking the same thing.
I was like, I don't
They're
think
not gonna wanna go to
Camp
camp.
would be first grade to sixth grade.
Okay, I am confused.
Where's that gonna be
Well, you could
Kids
actually
paid
get,
to come
if you
to
get
camp.
kindergarten,
Basically for
first
somebody
grade,
to
you
write
could
their
have
checks.
14-year-olds helping you.
Okay, but kids
They're
paid
old
to
enough
come
to
to
work.
this camp?
Yeah.
And we do have quite a few 14-year-olds in the
Okay,
town.
I need more information, cause I'm
Or
confused.
18, or high school, 14 to 18
The
employees.
state changed
I don't know who
the
I know,
age
but she was thinking about
requirements for kids
17
to
of
work
them.
in daycares.
And that's all the stuff I need to
One
look
per
at.
precinct.
So,
Yeah.
I know they
Say
changed
no more,
it.
last
It
name.
was
I
that
don't
big,
know
but
what
it's
it is.
changed.
Yes.
The town,
But
what
as
deals
long as
with
they're,
payroll
they
stuff.
can work in a
First
room.
Where would that
As
be
long
at?
as they're an adult with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so what has to be an adult somewhere, but they can also.
I know some.
Chatty. But we're adjourned, so they can talk, I guess. Yep, so they can talk all they want.
Crystal, would it be better if we could just like have a special meeting so we could find out more information about whatever she's talking about to be more informed on whatever this is? Cause I'm kind of
She's,
lost.
Program is still gonna be around. Because
it's gonna be
Well, Monday, we have our public hearing
considering,
to adopt our
I
budget.
sent my kids to
So if we're gonna
daycare.
be here anyways, could we just have her show up and give us more information?
Add it
She
to.
She
just
probably
said
can't
what-
get-
what
she
more
probably-
information. She's not gonna research anything until we decide if we want to.
do, go ahead.
Well, but maybe it would be a little bit more hectic.
We would, I mean, maybe she could just give us more
We don't
details.
have anything.
Hey, Kim,
to do payroll. I
Can you
mean,
come here for a minute?
Cause we don't have.
Instead of yelling over the table at everybody.
What's your last name, Kim?
Winkleman.
Winkleman.
Okay, so I'm a little confused.
Okay.
Okay, so is this something like the kids would pay to go to this program?
Yes.
Can I ask
Okay.
you a question?
So they would
As
come
an
to this
attorney?
program
Yeah.
and they would do summer
The
stuff?
difference between
There's already.
guardianship,
No,
conservatorship
this is just.
versus
for-
power
Just
of
some.
attorney,
So,
medical,
like, I'm gonna try to get
and,
somebody to pay for the bus
financial?
to take them to.
Yeah.
Why would we need guardianship
Try to
and
get someone to donate
conservatorship?
that money.
They say
Okay.
that the other
And then
two are
it's basically
temporary.
where-
The power
And the
of
hours, we
Yeah.
don't know, because we don't know what the interest is.
I guess it depends
I'm
on
thinking
context of what's going
Okay,
on, but.
so the gentleman is alcoholic dementia, not going to ever get better.
The students.
And we can't pay
It would
his
kind of be
bills
like daycare.
because we
Honestly, I
can't.
would do it.
We had the two paperworks there, the doctor declared that he was not competent. And then he said we should get guardian and conservator. And it's in Missouri, so none of the surrounding attorneys do that there. And I'm just like, I don't want him to get evicted before we can pay. He's got the money.
cooking programs, you
I
could do
just-
gym, you know, different types of.
That put a date, we went down there last week to finalize everything and we were
Play
told
baseball,
to get
kickball,
something
volleyball,
different.
anything.
But I'm not, it was by, it
If
was
he
by
doesn't
the
have the
doctor.
capacity, he probably can't execute a power of attorney document.
We have one already executed, but not the final.
Okay,
So that's the limitation, that's
from
why
the
they're
kids
saying the guardians
would then
should.
go to
Okay.
Because
pay
that's
for
kind of the default process before
employees.
we.
Okay.
So
And
you
does
need
it have to
somebody to
come
funnel
from
the
Missouri?
money from the
Probably.
kids
If he's in Missouri,
to
then
hold that
we
money
Missouri
to
court
then
would have to.
pay
All in?
payroll, the individual.
I spent all day on the phone and nobody could just tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume,
We
yeah,
got
Missouri
it, we
resident.
got him for
We
about
have a
500
meeting
some
with
dollars.
the
Missouri process, and I assume they have a guardian services type thing there. Different rules than Iowa, of
It
course,
seems
but
like no one knows,
Yeah.
even the nursing.
If you want me to write.
that's
Well,
weird.
I did-
I just write a whole bunch of stuff up for
Where is
you.
it?
I did the last one, I just gonna
Mylan,
get,
Mylan.
did
It's
the
like,
last one.
it's like Bethany and then
Take
it's
care of it.
southeast, I think, to Mylan. Mylan, it's like
me off.
Taking care of our
Kirksville,
budget.
Pale-
It's a public meeting, so
Paleo.
you're welcome to come. And you can come and
Yeah,
explain more if you
Yeah, yeah.
like,
Um,
what exactly you want
Yeah,
the city.
look and see if there's an attorney in that area, you know,
Okay.
within a couple counties.
I've
and
tried.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, I talked to 4 different ones today. One of them asked for a $3,000 detainer just for it, and I'm like, he's got that money, but I don't understand what you need $3,000 for.
Yeah,
not
I
sure
mean,
that
some
they
attorneys, they
could-
just, if they're
I'm not
taking on
sure
new
that they
clients,
would
it's just,
want
they need
to
a retainer up front,
take on the
because they, you know,
responsibility
a lot
of
of, we get a lot of
holding
people calling and
and then
asking about stuff, and like,
dispersing it.
some of it's just
I mean, if
BS.
she just
And
wants
so
us
it's like,
to
okay, if you
hold
wanna,
the
if
money,
you want us to do the
so
work,
we would
pay a
just be an
retainer.
accounts
We don't do it too often.
receivable
We're
and
still small
accounts
town.
payable. That's really all she wants us to be.
I know, I do not understand.
Well, I was not about to
I mean,
ask
she doesn't
Mark
want us to
Rasmussen
pay for
because
anything,
I
she
see him
just
a
wants
lot.
us to be a place to funnel the money in and funnel the money out.
So if you pay in between those.
But she's willing to
Technically, you
do
can't
the.
discuss council business. You'd be
Like even just to get you.
This is the thing,
I'll just pay the $50.
she's not
I didn't-
asking
You
us
could do, you could do like a
to do
workshop.
it, she's willing to do it.
But I was supposed to an
I
agenda
just,
for that?
one of the things that you have to do, and I know this is a little bit.
To have a workshop?
I assume it'd just be like a budget or something. If there's no actual decisions being made and
pen in
it's
there.
purely for reviewing the ordinances, asking questions for clarifying things, but no actual business is decided. So as long as no one's saying, well, we need that removed from the ordinance, you know, kind of that stuff, as long as
That
that's.
we
So
don't
if we
have.
do wanna do.
Or they
something,
put
do we need to make an agenda
superintendent
for
of
that?
something
I
or
would
another
think so.
that
Yes.
we don't have.
Okay.
Well, if you're gonna be making
It's like,
decisions, you know, anything that's
Well,
We don't have,
deliberative.
yeah, I,
She's got a lot of decisions.
Okay.
Is that the new draft?
And that's how they have.
Oh, okay, that'd be
would you like to know the differences?
Yeah.
There's this many.
I love it. But we can't discuss it tonight. We can discuss it, we just can't make any decisions.
Darn lawyers.
Deliberation. Well, I mean, that's the reason why you have the mics and the
Monday,
cameras.
know.
I mean, you
Monday,
can't.
we have a meeting, so I'll put that on the agenda.
Okay.
We'll do that.
I won't.
I was
Shouldn't be a
super,
separate.
I was super excited, but then I was like, oh no, I gotta get it done really fast because she's
I
gonna.
mean,
He carried that book and it gave me heartburn.
if you think there's enough to,
300 and some pages worth.
yeah, you could probably spend
Front and
a
back.
couple hours on that.
I spent about 5 days.
There's some good stuff in there,
Okay,
and there's some stuff that
Some
doesn't
things
apply.
that,
okay. I'd be
there's a
curious.
whole ordinance on solar parking. If you're interested in a very smooth bill.
Solar park.
Oh, you haven't got to the solar parking? Yeah, there's a whole ordinance on solar parking. How you can't park in a spot designated for, so, marked for solar parking?
Yeah, Doug and I have.
I missed that. I haven't,
Yeah.
I know there's a whole section on
I put a whole no.
roof solar, which we had nothing on roof solar. All of ours
Right.
were made for sunlight collection, heat collection.
Right. Well, and I gave that one to Dustin, and I said, can you read this over and see if it looks good?
I thought it was fine.
He said it was fine, except for he goes, well, I just have an issue with the fact that it says something about,
Pretty clearly walk through our different options.
reflection. He's like, do you have an
Oh,
ordinance
reflection.
about window reflection? And I'm like, yes, but you have to understand, people do not want rays that would just like,
You could set it up so that
it would
go
just,
shine right into someone's house.
oh yeah, easily.
Cash lie. Do you wanna run that by me?
What?
The bill, she just told me.
Oh, yes, I can come do that.
I mean, none of our cities.
Okay, so in essence, what she just wants the city to do is to be an accounts receivable and accounts payable. So she just wants the city to fund, or to take the money from the people.
Yeah, and I guess I don't know what you have, but
Yeah, so we need to just.
you need something in place, and if you're gonna do
And
half the
then
house, probably recycle.
pay out
There's
the
penalties in place
employees.
if you violate what goes in them, so then you
Yeah,
can
you would have to
ding
have an
people on
account
that,
to hold it.
maybe try to correct that.
They would have to invoice the city. Then they would have to get IPers.
But are they going to?
Yeah, if you violate it. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Are they going to pay you or are you still be employed?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because I told Mom, I said, it would be nice.
Right there.
Kim,
Yo, they'd have to.
alright, give me a second, I don't have these answers.
No, I know, that's why I was like, let's talk logistics.
Okay, so we were talking, okay, and she was saying, so basically, then they would have to be, your people that are getting paid would have to be employees of the city.
Already.
Well, they can opt out of it.
Already out of time.
They don't,
You can't opt out of it.
Not if the condition still remains, you know, as long as there's a violation, you just keep going.
For a dollar amount? Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense. We've been.
I'm not running for magistrate. You're on that committee, right? And they were talking about that the other day. Is John Law or anyone else?
Yeah, I heard, I opt out of it.
I think that talked of whether, I think it was either Keys or John, one of the two might have tried before.
But, like, you have to do a physical, and you have to do, Dustin's like, I'm out. Drug test.
I'm done.
Not a lot of attorneys around. I don't think I can do it, because I'm not that local, you know.
Yeah, and I'll try and get it.
Unless I can get money from somewhere.
Yeah,
Right.
we need more attorneys.
I don't know what young kids are gonna want to pay.
Right,
I'll try and
right.
get it.
That's just what I'm saying, it's gonna have, I'm not saying that they're gonna agree to this, but that's what.
Yeah,
She's just
yeah.
thinking about things
It's
that I
a
didn't
reserve
wonder
for
about.
well, I think Dave, or, Brandon, said this is her second term, right? Yeah, so hopefully she stays around, but you think at a certain point, you get far enough in your practice, that you don't wanna do that. Yeah, so either you're looking at moving into a judgeship position, or you know, take on more responsibility at the firm. But maybe she likes it, I don't know. I've only been in front of her, I think, twice now. Everything else, everyone defaults on everything, and you don't even see anyone in person, it's all email and whatever. She seemed pretty nice, I liked her, she seemed very professional.
They don't have to do it. But they have to have driver's license out and.
That applied?
You and like if you had a
You know what office she was with? Kirk Quinn's office?
She looks like about one office.
Okay.
So what we
I mean,
have,
yeah,
when I
it'll
took
be,
in Alex, you had them.
there's a lot of older attorneys, and there's more attorneys retiring, so I think
But
there's room to get more.
I brought in.
I don't know, we're always looking, now that I'm a couple years in, I think our partners are looking to see to get someone in after me, another young attorney, but if there's anyone that'd be already experienced in, you know, 30s, 40s, and they've had 10, 20 years of experience under their belt, that's not bad either, and they'd be a good one for magistrate too.
It's an interesting process.
Yeah,
it won't be problems.
Yeah, I mean, it's an important thing, that's your first line that a lot of people will see, you know, for small claims and all the evictions and everything like that, then you just go right there,
I
you know?
mean, they can. Like, they don't have to,
Yep.
is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, he did it, and then, I think when he took on the, I don't know if he left before doing the city council, or, city attorney, but there was something in there, right?
Well, and I told her that she
When he
could write
hopped
all
on
of this
Jefferson,
down
he couldn't do
and give it to
magistrates,
me,
so-
or she would come on Monday, and we can talk
I think
about it at our
Brandon
meeting
would be a
too,
good pick, but I don't know if he's interested.
after our meeting.
The other thing I was.
The other partner, he does all the, I guess we're still conflicted though because of the cities, you know, but he does all the representation for, the city of Jefferson for like speeding tickets and all that jazz.
Right.
So he's usually on the other side, you know, in court a lot, so,
Yeah.
you know, he'd have good experience,
So
but
I can put it on it.
if we're gonna be dealing with city of Jefferson people in court, it's tough to be magistrate still. So even though he's not the city attorney, our firm still kind of
Mine too, right?
throws us out a little bit.
Mrs. Foster, now you know if you ever get Nick Foster's wife.
Oh, and then another person. I need to find out how to get a hold of her. Can I give you my phone number, you can text me? 860.
I don't know, I hope so. I mean, I think there's enough land and farmers and everything else
Yeah, I
that
seen all
always
those
need stuff done.
sticky notes.
They do taxes, and so they're probably busy.
A lot of them are different, she's reassuring her daughter did.
I know Drake's trying to, they have something set up where they'll pay
A lot of
students to come out and work in the summer, they'll pay their living expenses, like a stipend to get people into, especially the county attorney's office, and then also on the other side, especially, you know, no one wants to do criminal defense, it seems like. Probably just Mark Rasmussen and John Law are the only ones left in the county that really do that. And so,
So how do who do I go to get a census of this?
they were joking that I'm gonna get pulled in.
In July?
Because the judge can issue an order and force attorneys to be contract attorneys. Because it used to be you were required to do pro bono work if you were admitted to the bar, you had to serve and do defense and everything. But then we moved away from that, but then I think it's Scott County or some different counties, there was a judge like a year or two ago who just said, every attorney in the county who is licensed to practice needs to get trained up to do criminal work, because I'm gonna start assigning cases in the next few weeks. And so you had private practice attorneys who do, you know, just lawsuits, just municipal attorneys, and they were getting pissed, but apparently judges have that power that they can just issue that. So if we don't have anyone to represent anyone, I could be thrown in there, I guess.
One reason I wanted him.
I don't wanna do that, but,
Because I knew how big of a deal.
busy enough.
Your life is really.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I get up at 4:30 every morning.
Life
My daughter sounds good, kids on.
yeah, yeah, there's a lot of that.
Retire.
I'll have to pretend I don't practice in Green County if that happens.
She was lucky, she had.
No, we'll be good.
Go on.
Is this one yours?
Whatever, but there's such a need.
A lot of notes there.
I'll be registering.
I hear a lot.
I'll write up everything that comes into my brain and get it to Ashley, and I'll be able to go from there. In the meantime, I'll try to, if you give me that.
I will, I sure
Reach out to
will.
her, and maybe I can get numbers from.
Your mother-in-law, Joyce, they were huge friends of my family. So my grandparents, I live in.
And come back.
And so Joyce lived.
So we have ours.
And I lived here. So,
I was gonna ask you, just on the recycling,
Even though
I think we should have
there are.
just
No, we've only been back here since 12.
really clear.
I wanted to, but I was getting
No,
back.
yeah, I think, you know, we know enough maybe on per dollar, per house, or mill, but then figure out what the exact numbers for Jefferson. and what the
Yeah, and we need to get a hold of
And
them.
then, those are the three options I thought, maybe.
Just to let you know, it's printed off at the
So then
library,
just
it's $14.
Make sure that we don't have an open forum discussion type thing with the city.
Is that what you did?
When we-
Yeah, well, I
For it and everything.
Nice meeting y'all. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
No, we can do a little meeting, just let
Some
people
of
get
it
to
is
council
not
members
that bad.
I know.
popcorning around, you know, I think
It
that
wasn't until towards the last, it wasn't
meeting
towards,
kinda went off the rails the last
every
few
single
minutes
word
because
that
of
is
this.
different.
So, yeah, I think we just have
highlighted.
to, however many proposals you think there are there for options, and then we just. Mills.
Yeah, every
And
single
we
word.
could combine, but I don't think it's.
So see, that one is just a spelling word, cause it's supposed to say fuel tanks and it says dual
I'll get
tanks.
the numbers, I'll figure out the numbers too, what it would cost.
Just saying,
If
Yeah.
we did do Jefferson or if
I
we
might
did
be,
supervisors.
a tad
Yeah,
bit,
'cause it looks like Jefferson's
the
based on
cost.
population already,
you know,
6.35%
Can you
county.
contract them like a?
And I don't know what their population really is on there.
I would send snaps to my sister and she goes, what are you sending me? And I'm like, ordinance book of Scranton, and she goes, oh my God.
Kinda sounds like what Don was saying.
I'm gonna send this to the people in Carroll and tell them they need to
That's
do
what
the.
maybe we should.
No, I'll
Take
get
care,
a,
Jen.
here's the notes tomorrow.
Yeah, but like,
Just like I did with Mills, I got it the very next day.
Hi, Nikki. Hi. I haven't seen you for so long. It's me.
Yeah, me.
How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right, hanging in there.
How's your job over there?
Oh, it's good.
I sent
It's
out.
good. I hate drunks, but other than that, I'm fine.
Roughly.
Yeah, I don't do the drunks very well.
I think our
Is that
our
the
ordinance
biggest
book
portion of it?
stops here.
No,
Yeah.
on the weekends, yeah, but,
These are all new
no, it's,
ordinances.
and they're not all bad, it's the ones that.
Is that what you're doing?
I'm just telling you, they're all new ordinances. Cause our
But
ordinance
no,
book stops
it's
here.
just a lot of,
She said that she was gonna bring it back.
Yeah, so I was like,
I just treat everyone the same.
Okay, yes, I will work on that and I'll send it to
Those,
you.
they tend
Yeah,
to
I
do
mean-
like physical things.
You're
I
at
can
the
do
jail.
it, but.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, so
I
I
guess
will
when
come.
you do
you would appreciate
They did.
we
Dawn
should
got
just
to
go-
be there, I didn't even know it happened.
I guess, yeah, I
At the
can.
jail, the new ground,
just-
new
I don't know if
breaking
you
of
have
the,
one.
breaking of the new ground.
Fire 2080.
I saw that picture.
We probably have
I
one.
didn't get to go.
Straight
Um,
for weeks
Us
straight.
peons,
I'm
we
like,
just
kids,
didn't
Yeah, I'll
work.
get
do
hold
not
of the
talk to
supervisors
me.
tomorrow.
No,
Yeah,
Obviously, we already
we all gave everyone a hard time because of the, there was a hard hat
I
joke.
guess,
I wonder, I gotta
do you
ask
just
that
want a
something.
resolution
Those
maybe that
guys.
walks through
Yeah, I was like, we really have to wear these to.
which of the options, that just say
Oh, they're talking-
city
are you
challenge?
talking-
Right, but it had to look official.
I mean,
So,
it's a little goofy.
no, I really
You're
enjoyed
like, we
my
work
work
for
with,
the
so.
Oh, that's
city,
good.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, like, you
Yeah.
have all this other stuff.
And I'm,
You still work nights.
yeah, yeah.
You gotta work tonight.
No, I won't be here Monday, Tuesday, but, yeah, it's nice because you work 2 on, you have 2 off, then you work 3 on,
Screw
you
that
have
up,
2
and
off,
so
and you
I
have
slacked the city.
2 on and 3 off. So it's very nice.
Yeah.
It works out, so we're gonna get
No,
Abiella
That's why I
back.
just put recycling.
This is our first weekend to have her back,
So,
our,
because
my husband's daughter.
Oh, okay.
We had her all
all of our
summer,
ducks in a row, that's
and
why I didn't have it.
her mom decided to take her from school
Oh,
on the
you're gonna
first
have her
day.
back in your home,
Yes,
not back at the job.
no,
Oh,
no.
it's like I
No.
was, we're gonna have her back. We were
No,
talking
I
about
just
work.
meant like, so my days off, it works out that we have her every other weekend, then I'm off every other weekend. And then, you know, we can get back into some normalcy.
Is actually where you
So,
enter into the
good.
contract.
Yeah.
Read the terms and all that.
Okay.
If that's
It's not
fine,
one thing, it's
I know,
Um,
yeah, life will always be that way.
Yeah.
It will always be that way.
July is a year for my brother, so we're planning on taking the rest of his ashes to
Which
Denver.
I understand, I mean, I get it,
So
because
we
they're
have
not
that
business,
planned and,
the ones that showed up tonight are
Just any certain place there.
and when we lived in Denver, we lived right by the Red
He
Rocks,
claims
right,
he is paying.
they were in our back door.
They have so
So,
many
Really?
we're gonna
So what was your
Shawshank.
address then?
It was in Lakewood.
That's where my son lives.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the.
You go up
mountains.
at the dog park, up here, which I always walk up there every time.
Mhm.
It's so beautiful, and there's right there, it's Red Rocks.
I mean, it's like in your backyard.
Yeah.
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 So we used to go and have picnics there all the time, so, of course, the mountains, and then I'm gonna Shawshank him on the Denver field, which means through my pocket, cause that's illegal.
Oh.
I'm just gonna do a tiny little
So
bit
yes,
of
I'm
it,
gonna hold the
Yeah.
cause
supervisors.
he was a huge Broncos fan,
So you
so.
gotta have a hole in your
Hole in my
pocket.
pocket, and I'm like, well, that way if anyone goes to jail, it'll be me,
It's like,
Yeah,
that dust will just,
Yeah.
fall right out.
yeah, I don't like the
We
thought
came
of,
that close to getting in trouble with my mom.
really?
Also with supervisors,
Well,
they give me a number on.
I'm gonna wear shorts,
Yeah.
so it'll be
and then I
not
guess
all the way
the
down.
option would be
We have it all
one
planned
pickup
out.
versus the two.
So if you see me on the news,
So everyone should.
Well, I'll know all
I was
about
trying
it.
to do a good deed.
Salt shaker works too.
Oh, I never thought of that.
What?
Parmesan,
I agree.
the salt shaker.
I mean, there is a lot of elderly people
I'm
that
hungry.
can't get up
Oops,
there,
I missed.
or even carry it to the party when they get there, so like.
Joanne, you brave thing, you got a little purple in your hair, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
How are
I
you?
lost it. That's mine. Got
Annette,
You know what, I like that she did show.
does Brandy work at the school through the summer?
Get that guy for their hair.
No.
Go to the beach.
I had to stop and think, no. She has another
Oh, yeah,
job, though, I don't know how.
Priscilla too, she was.
How are you doing, sweetie?
She works at FRC in Carroll
A little bit.
on weekends. It's a family resource center.
But she stays there, she like literally goes there at one time and don't come home till.
Oh, she would be a good one.
Yeah, that's why, the reason.
I get what you're doing here,
Yeah.
she would be good,
One
she's
of the
good with
girls that I
kids.
have
She is.
Well, I was wondering,
She's
why can't,
amazing with kids.
I think she used to be roommates with the lady that just
So-
left, and I don't think that's a good
We've been
idea.
gone all day.
So could you
Who?
treat this as a program and just hire somebody as a contract employee? Just pay them,
He's got.
so like if this isn't gonna be it's just gonna be a temporary, like a short-lived program, it'd be a contract employee. And you do a 1099, I mean, then their response, I mean, that would alleviate, that would make it.
Probably still want a background check, you know?
Right,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then you wouldn't have to deal with this
Payroll stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And
you
the,
have.
and the workman's comp, cause they'd be a
Yeah.
contract employee. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just trying to,
Save money.
I like where you're going with this.
you know, I mean.
Cause it's
I
all
think,
new to
I
me,
think
so
there's,
I
I
don't.
think there's a way from trying to have, I think we can simplify it and make it work.
Okay, I love that.
And then possibly
Oh, we've been home all day.
throughout
We've
the
been
year,
home at the doctor.
school break time, there's a
I
lot
got
of
enough.
parents who don't have daycare during school breaks. 2 weeks Christmas vacation is insane.
You have to do it before Gail has his
We
surgery.
offer 2 weeks.
I heard he's having surgery
I
again.
mean, if you already got licensing or you already have it all set up, and you don't